I love Spider-Man. I love his comic books. I love his TV shows, and I love his movies and his video games. So obviously, when I found out Dan Slott was leaving Spider-Man and Nick Spencer was coming in, I had to start reading Spidey again. But that never happened, and instead I caught up on the entire run and finished everything that's out just like a week ago. But it's great, it's great. Side note, at this time of the video, Spider-Man number 51 is the latest issue, and everything that I'm saying in this video may and probably will age very, very poorly. But I digress. Spencer's Spider-Man is a really good Spider-Man run and a perfect return to form. But one thing stuck out to me in all of that. One thing in particular. Kindred's identity. I have a massive problem with this. Now, Kindred's identity was revealed in Amazing Spider-Man number 50 as, spoiler, because, you know, this video is going to have spoilers for the Amazing Spider-Man, all of Nick Spencer's run, and some of Dan Slott's run. But anyways, it was revealed as Harry Osborn. Yes, this may be a misdirection, a red herring, oogly woogly magic comic book bullshit. But, as of now, this seems definitively to be Kindred's identity. However, I am holding out hope that this is a red herring or something, because I need to make a video this week and I have no ideas. So this is what you're getting. So in my mind, there are 3 possible ways that this could go down. Yes, I understand that there could be more, and there's not only 3 ways to cover a character, because I'm not going to cover every single thing Nick Spencer could ever do in the multiverse. So instead, I will talk about the most popular theories and what seems likely due to hints given to us by Spencer himself, both in the book and in real life. Option number 1, Harry is the Harry who died in Spectacular Spider-Man number 200, and the current Brand New Day Harry has been a clone. This Harry has been in hell and has recently resurfaced for some random reason unknown to us. However, it is likely related to Peter and MJ finally getting into a serious relationship again. The story that Harry's death was faked by Mysterio is a complete lie. Option number 2, Harry did die in Spectacular Spider-Man number 200, and Brand New Day Onward Harry is a clone. This clone is then Kindred. Number 3, Harry's history is 100% accurate. He never died, but he somehow went to hell, brought Mysterio back to life. There is only one Harry, and this Harry is Kindred. Now, spoiler alert, none of these possibilities work and they're all stupid, and I will break them down individually for why they each don't work. So let's consider the first theory. When considering this theory, you have to think about Spectacular Spider-Man number 200, and you have to consider how Spencer has spoken about J.M. Mateus, who he considers to be one of his favorite writers, according to an interview with Marvel.com. And I quote, "Beyond that perfect foundation, I am especially fond of 2 writers, Roger Stern and J.M. DeMatteis. I'm a different kind of writer than those guys, but they both have a huge influence on me in how I view the character. DeMatteis is the writer of Spectacular Spider-Man number 200, hence the relevancy of this statement. To take a Harry Osborn, who died rejecting his hatred of Peter, who died while saving his life, and to turn that person into some demonic entity who despises Peter doesn't make sense. It's perhaps the most disrespectful way you could continue the character after that point, and it cannot be stressed enough that this version of Harry wanted to kill Peter and himself, strongly believing that they weren't good for their respective families, and the only way they could truly be safe and happy was for both of them to die."
That's that. Timer's set. 2 minutes and this whole building blows apart. One big ball of fire. Let's face it. People like you and me, we're better off dead. The world's too hard for us. We bruise too easily. We bleed too much, and we leave nothing but pain in our wake. We're toxic, Peter. Anyone comes near us, and their lives become radioactive. So don't fight it. Drug's too strong anyway. Just relax. Accept. After all, isn't it time the 2 of us found a little peace?
No! You can't do this. You can't. Life's too precious, Harry. No matter how much pain we're in, no matter how many burdens we have to bear, it's too precious to just forsake it like this. Think of how much we have. The people we love.
We'll be better off without us. Believe me, they'll... Oh, no.
Harry, I've got your son with me. And we're coming up. Do you hear me?
They're in the house!
What?
What have I done? Oh, dear God. What have I done?
You've got to get them out of here. I can barely move. But you...
There's no time. I'll never be able to...
You can do it.
No! You don't understand. I'm not like you. I'm no hero. I can't do anything right. Never could. My father always used to say...
I don't care about your father. I care about you.
We're coming.
And right now, you're the only hero we've got.
Up?
So go, Harry. Go!
I did it! It's all right. You're both safe now. No bomb's going to...
Bomb? What are you talking about?
The Foundation. Any second. The building's going to explode. Mary Jane.
My husband is in there? You left Peter to die?
Yes. No. I don't know. I don't know.
Mary Jane, I love. Huh?
Thank you, Harry. Thank you.
Nothing to thank me for.
Maybe you don't think so, but I do. And I'll never forget it. Now here, take your son. I think he'd feel better right now if his daddy... Harry?
It's nothing. Just feeling a little...
Oh God, he's having some kind of convulsion, Peter! Do something, help him!
Hair.
Stupid experimental formula. Guess the experiment wasn't much of a success. Huh.
You just hang on, okay? We'll get an ambulance.
I did it, Peter. Just the way you would have done it. A real hero.
Why, Harry? Why'd you come back for me?
What else could I do? You're my best friend.
Yet despite all of that, he saved Peter's life. He claimed and he recognized that Peter was a hero and held his hand while he passed away, having come to terms and broken his goblin-induced insanity. This version of Harry going to hell for his crimes is still valid and makes sense, as he may have redeemed himself in the eyes of the viewers and Peter, but he still did some really horrible and evil things in his life. But to suddenly make him hate Peter and view him more as a threat to his loved ones entirely undoes this redemption he was given. What's more, if this is the Harry that is Kindred, he has had opportunities to keep Peter and Mary Jane apart prior to one more day. The Howard Mackie run ends with Peter and Mary Jane being separated.
You know, earlier today while we were up in the attic, I came across something. After the plane crash, the airline, they brought me some of your personal effects in a box. There really wasn't much, but there was this. I was going to slip it back on your finger tonight.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you hold on to it for me for just a little while?
Yeah, I will. So what are you going to do next?
I'm not too sure.
Well, if you ever...
I will. I love you, Peter. Please believe that.
If Kindred was truly against them reuniting again, he could have worked his magic to stop them from eventually coming back together during the J. Michael Straczynski run, but instead, he waits all this time to act. Harry's psychosis made him believe that him and Peter were better off dead because they hurt the ones they loved. But he realized he was wrong and saved Peter's life, and he admitted he was wrong and held Peter's hand in reconciliation as he passed away. If they were to bring Harry back from Spider-Man number 200, it would completely ruin his arc and his redemption. While this would make sense about where he got his powers from and how Mysterio came back to life, it doesn't really explain why he does what he does, and in a meta sense, explain why Spencer would undo one of his favorite writer's work. Now, the second possibility is an offshoot of the first possibility in that Harry still dies in this issue. This is why Harry Osborn, in the post-One More Day world, wouldn't hate Peter or want him dead. In Harry's earliest Brand New Day appearance, he's constantly trying to help set Peter up with people, be it through online dating or Harry's friends, or at least his girlfriend's friend, Carly Cooper. We all know that Harry cares about Peter. Now, if we continue with Kindred's motivation being that he hates Peter because he hurts people closest to him, something that we see in the Amazing Spider-Man 2018 issue 10, and we also see him in Last Remain storyline as Kindred digs up and prepares the corpses of all people that Peter has ever loved and have died as a result of his life as Spider-Man, then why would this version of Harry ever try to set Peter up with other women? Especially if the women he set Peter up with he was close with personally, such as Carly. Harry somehow both hates Peter for endangering those closest to him, but wants Peter to get close to people that he cares about. It makes no sense. The motivation makes no sense and goes against everything One More Day Harry has done. Harry Osborn has been in danger multiple times and never once has used abilities that Kindred has shown. These stories being American Son, Origin of the Species, Go Down Swing / the Red Goblin arc. In none of these instances does he use any demonic abilities, frequently relying on technology such as the American Sun armor or Green Goblin technology left over. What's more to this is that Harry has recently been said to have goblin stashes all over, including his apartment, which we see in Web of Venom, The Good Sons. Why would somebody with the capabilities of Kindred need to rely on goblin technology when we see what he's capable of in say Since Rising, where he literally resurrects someone from the fucking dead and manages to fight, possess Silk, Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, and a whole bunch of other spider-based characters? Third option is that there is only one Harry, and that Harry is Kindred. And that doesn't work for the same reasons laid out in the first and second point. If this is the only Harry, where did he get his powers from? And why would this Harry, a Harry that sacrificed his life for Peter, then try to set Peter up and show that he cares deeply about Peter, despise Peter for what he's done? It doesn't make sense that somewhere deep down, Harry has always been Kindred. It lacks both a lot of information and a lack of motive. In general, Kindred being Harry is just a stupid and horrible idea for so many reasons, which have been laid out in this video. The first theory disrespects previous work, especially one of Spencer's favorite writers, and has a lack of motivation for Harry to actually be Kindred. And in the second and third example, it's a combination of a lack of motive as well as a lack of ability and lack of continuity with pre-established information. However, I do hope in the end that this is all a red herring and that Spencer is a smarter writer than this. However, as it is with the internet, I will still continue to exercise my right to cry and complain about something despite all the information being fully revealed. But, for the love of God, I really hope I am wrong and that Kindred is not Harry Osborn. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please consider checking out my other videos or subscribing, as I make videos on comics, movies, TV shows, and video games. This video should not be a reflection of what content I make, because this video was slapped together in like 3 hours. I just needed to get something out because I feel like I wanted to do something. I want to thank everybody for the massive amount of support I got in my last video, and I swear my 250 now, sub video is coming out soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.